So this is game number 1 of a best of 3. The first quarterfinal of Go for SC2 Monday, and Habitation Station is going to be starting us off as the host. Spawning up in the top right hand position, representing Team Dignitas, none other than Tefel. And his opponent to the top left, the blue Zerg player representing Skillfire. It is Senin. Oh, Skillforge. It's not Skillfire. Skillforge. They forge the skill in the fire of Gosu. That's what I reckon anyway. Maybe. So, what can we be expecting from these two? Extractor trick. I panicked a little bit every single time. Never a day goes by where a Zerg player does an extractor trick and I see an extractor in the production tab and I'm like, oh my goodness, let's look at what's happening. And yeah, still pretty good. I've just noticed Twitch chat, it is not Ponder stubble, it is a Ponder beard. It is beyond stubble length now, and it is now a very short beard. Don't take this away from me. Anyway, spawning pool coming down from Tefel. Meanwhile, over on Senin's side, he's also going for that spawning pool. Roughly 4 seconds later. Which, let's be honest, I could sit there and tell you some awesome analysis about how this is going to mean something magnificent. But in honesty, it's probably not. It's probably just Senin being 4 seconds slower than Tefel. It's all good. Look, he's gonna try and get his hatch down quicker, but Tefel's slightly up on the income. There we go. Another slight delay. That one's smaller, 2 seconds. If this trend continues, that's when we're gonna see whether or not Senin actually starts making stuff quicker. It's hard to analyze early game ZvZ, to be honest, especially when they're both in essence doing the same build. There we go. Gas coming down as well now for Senin. Oh, Tefel's bringing it back into the lead now. I really feel like sitting here and trying to come up with some great explanation of stuff, but Chat's giving me some great suggestions. Someone's saying Nidus Baneling Bust would be their ideal build on this map. I think a Nidus Baneling Bust would be my ideal build on any map. I'm gonna, after I go for SE2, I may just play a game where no matter what the map is, what the opponent's race is, I will do nothing but rush up to lair, get as much gas as possible, make a Nidus worm, and then as many Banelings as possible, and just walk them into their main, because that would be hilarious. Anyway, as it goes for now, we just got a couple of lings coming out, lots of drones, some more drones, some droning, and both players making drones. Because that's what you do early game ZvZ. Unless you're trying to kill your opponent, you want to drone. It's the decision-making process of Zerg versus Zerg is pretty simple. If you did it as a flowchart, it'd be, do I want to kill my opponent? Yes, make units. No. Does my opponent want to kill me? Yes, make units. No, make drones. And you just basically repeat over and over and over again that flowchart until you have all the drones, or your opponent's dead, or you're dead. It's pretty simple times. Maybe not the best strategy to plan long term, and of course I am saying that in jest. It's not as simple as that. But hey, as you can see, they're both like droning a lot. Now, as we've got coming through here, nothing too crazy yet going on either side. For the most part, they're just happy chilling, happy waiting, adding in Zergling speed. Tefel is getting a Baneling nest, that's up in the main, not down in the front. Advantage of putting it up here, it doesn't get scouted as easily. Advantage of putting it down to the front, you can hide your queen behind it, just so it doesn't have as much surface area, just in case a lot of speedlings are coming at you. Looks like Senin, he doesn't want to go for any of that Zergling shenaniganery. He instead wants to go straight up into roaches. Roach run, evolution chamber, 2 more gases. 3 gases generally indicates an aggressive 2-base roach play. Generally, and I am massively saying like some broad strokes here. 3 base gases gives you enough to produce roaches continuously. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Meanwhile, over on Tefel's side, he's adding the Baneling nests. He had to do a little bit of damage to a couple of lings. That should be both players scouting each other fairly well. If we take a look at this, actually Senin got the marginally better scout. He sees that Tefel's actually going up to 4 gas compared to the 3 he's got. That's quite a nice scout to have. Senin's also well up in that +1. He's already like 45, he's going to be about 55, 60 seconds ahead in that +1 timing. But he does have to be careful. Tefel poking with these speedlings now. And there really isn't much in the way of defense yet. Down goes the queen. A couple of drones likely to pave their life. And yeah, this is all pretty cool. Quick little escape with those lings as well in terms of resources lost. Tefel, 81. Senin, 400. That's a cost-effective trade. Gold base now getting taken by Tefel as well. A lot of the current meta in ZvZ is grabbing that third base nice and quick. You see it quite often around the kind of 7-minute mark. Tefel actually got his, yeah, pretty much bang on the 7-minute mark. Nice and quick. Meanwhile, we've got Senin just adding in his 4th gas now, pumping more roaches, and the actual roach count for the moment is sitting fairly level. The biggest difference is 2 things. Firstly, the +1 for Senin is way ahead. He's like 80 seconds ahead on that. And he's also got the carapace upgrade about 50 seconds ahead. Admittedly, having the +1 isn't hugely important in roach on roach engagements. But when the Hydras start coming out, which is a pretty common follow-on, then it gets real neat. This is a massive win here for Tefel. He's going to be able to kill this queen. And picking off queens is fantastic. An inject now not occurring at the natural base. Knocking out an inject, and it should be at least 1 inject down, possibly even 2, is over 4 additional lings per, or 4 additional lava per 40 seconds. It's a pretty big deficit you're running up against your opponent, especially when you're going into, say, roaches, which obviously you want as many out as you can, as quickly as you can. Tefel's up 18, 19 to 8 roaches. No way Senin can push in here, even with that +1 attack upgrade. Just not something you can do. Also want to touch upon this from Tefel. Look at his roach placement. He's spreading them really nicely. Preemptively spreading, so if Senin came through this avenue, his roaches instantly close and have a nice concave. Obviously could get flanked from the south, but that's what this Overlord's purpose is. Making sure that he can't have that happen to him. So, +1 carapace coming in. +2 carapace and +2 missile attack also coming in for Senin. So still a good little, a pretty good invite in terms of timings of just all of these upgrades. We've got a little lead over at Senin's side. Okay. Senin, I just want to look at this for anyone because that caught me a bit off guard. Basically, Senin saw this coming over, this massive force of roaches, and just decided that he's not going to be able to get out enough to hold it. He must not have. I can't see if he had lava or not, but he just saw there's a lot of stuff here and just thought, hey, I can't stop that. So GG there. Fair enough. Didn't know about the gold base either, so actually would have done. He saw a bit of creep spread there. So, yep, fair enough. GG there. That was game number 1, and it goes to Tefel.